What's going on? Welcome back to In the Pits with Poppin' MX. I'm your host, AJ. Anyone new here? I've been around motocross for a long time. Obviously, as a rider, a fan, bike owner, somebody who genuinely loves the industry and, of course, the people in it. But Poppin' MX has always been, about having real conversations, sharing honest experiences, and giving people a look into motocross from a different perspective. So tonight, we're actually talking specifically about the Triumph TF 250X, why I chose one, what I love about it, what I've changed, why I genuinely believe that Triumph deserves, I honestly think, more attention in the motocross world. So I'm also actually joined by my neighbor Colton. So he's brand new to motocross, and after hearing, I constantly talked about it. He saw the bike, he already kind of knew about it, but I raved about this thing for, I don't know, weeks and weeks and weeks. So anyway, I just wanted to, like I said, I want to introduce him. I wanted him to talk about it because he actually went out and bought one. I didn't, unbeknownst to me, he just called me and he was like, "Hey, bro, are you home yet?" And I was like, no, I'm not home. And he's like, I got to show you something. So I pull up and there's a brand new 2026 Triumph sitting outside. I was like, what the hell? This man just bought a damn Triumph. So, but anyway, like I said, we're just here. I wanted to introduce him. I wanted to bring him on because we don't see many of these damn Triumphs at the track. I think, hell, if you and I go, we'll probably be the only ones.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure too. Like, there's a lot. If we let people ride them and stuff, probably be sold on it some more. Cause it's just like letting you ride it. Every time I let this man ride it, it's just just loves it. He would have. I remember when you had a hurt wrist at Brooksville, and I remember you're like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna hang it up for the day." I'm like, "You want to ride this?" Man, it looks like a little kid in a candy store, just like, "Oh yeah," no complaints at all. And I'm like, "Yeah, he's gonna end up with one." And here we are, all decked out.
I honestly so. I guess backstory: day in the dirt. I had a 2022 Gas MC450. The last race at Day in the Dirt, literally my last moto, I killed it. I actually placed fifth, but which was an accomplishment for me. That's my goal was top 5 Day in the Dirt eventually, and I finally did it. So, but I raced my race, and I don't know, about 3/4 of the way through, the bike was shifting weird, like it was having an issue, and I had no idea. The bike was fine. Literally, I've had no issues with that bike, and then it was shifting weird. It wouldn't go at a second. So I'm like, uh-oh. Ran fine, finished the moto, and wouldn't go in neutral. So I'm like, oh, damn. Transmission's done. So my buddy looked the bike over. Make a long story short, I ended up selling that bike. I sold it, and I was on the hunt for a bike, heavy. And when he had his bike, I was like, oh, I'm just going to get the RC edition, 450. But I had my reservations, because I know parts are hard to get for the Triumph, and dealer support is hard. And that was one of the things that I was most worried about was the dealer support part, because I have a really good dealership close by. And we'll just say I can't really get access to those same parts locally. But I ended up getting this bike, which is 24 and a half factory edition. And I found myself constantly riding his bike and then trying to adjust this bike so it felt like his bike. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do KYB swap, suspension. I need to get this. I need to do that. I want to do this, and I want to make it feel more planted. And it's so rigid, so I need to loosen up the frame. And yeah, and obviously, I bought a 250. So here we are. Riding. I haven't even ridden it yet, actually. I've ridden his.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, every time we go riding.
Yeah, it's just an enjoyable bike. It's my first bike. Like I said, I heard about it from him. Just how I had, the Brembo brake suspension, KYB. I heard also it was like one of the most powerful 250s as well. It comes with that quick shift, launch control, just a bunch of mapping modes, and I was like, shoot. One day I just was real antsy, just sitting home, and was like, man, I was supposed to actually get something else prior, but then I'm like, I'm gonna just go send it. Take the risk, get a new bike, and see how it goes for me. And honestly, truly, we were having this conversation the other day ago when we were out here, and I'll just probably stick with it. Honestly, I thought in the future about upgrading to a YZ 450 when that time comes, but I'm just comfortable on it. I went over the whole bike pretty much with him, learning from him, and probably just stick with it because it's what I know. So until maybe something else grabs my attention, but I'm just really sold on it as well.
No, it's solid. I mean, I don't know. My biggest thing is it's like there's just not enough people advocating for it. So I think, I don't want to say I'm super involved in the motocross community, but I've made a conscious effort to try to involve myself in the Tampa or Florida motocross community as much as I could. And that's kind of how Poppin' MX evolved into what it did. When I hurt myself, I dove pretty deep into trying to like host events, and my wife and I threw like pit parties, and we got close to the owners of 74 and all of that. So, I don't know. Motocross has always been a thing for me, and this bike, like I said, it's just too good. And people aren't advocating. So, of all the tracks I've been to over the years, I've probably seen 2 triumphs. 2. So I never really I didn't know anything about them. I didn't get the chance to ride one. So I'll never forget though, the first time. So I got that bike, and I'll be brutally honest. I was super uncomfortable on it the first time I rode it. You can even ask him. I was like, bro, I just bought this bike, spent this money. I don't even like it. I'm not comfortable on it. I was like, I don't like it. I think I'm going to sell it. Literally day one, I was going to sell it. And then he's like, hey, you want to try the Triumph? And I was like, man, I don't know about, riding somebody else's bike. Okay, yeah, I'll try it. And we were at Spider MX. I think Spider?
No. The first time you got this one?
No, when I rode yours.
Oh, yeah.
First time was Spider, right?
Yeah, but you had the old bikes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
the first time you rode this one was Dade City. You were like, the grips, this thing is different, bro. Like, it's just so different compared to the last.
It was.
Yeah, you're like, bro, this thing is just an animal, man.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I did have my 22 still. We were at Spider MX. That's right. So I was at Spider, and he was like, man, if you want to just try the Triumph, I mean, you can. And I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, too. I was looking for like kind of pointers because I was new, bro. I felt like I was sliding everywhere because of sand, and I was
Actually,
like, bro,
that was the first time you ever rode.
Yeah, that's the first time I rode, and then.
Shit. So
also, that kind of leads back to me riding Day in the Dirt, like after like only 5 rides, bro.
Damn,
like,
this dude is we got so much. This dude is crazy. He's crazy, first of all. So it's not that he never rode dirt bikes. Like he grew up, you guys had like pit bikes, small bikes, like play bikes though, like trail bikes.
Yeah.
So, and they would just run like around neighborhoods, trails, in the woods, stuff like that. Not track, not nothing, right? So one weekend or a couple weekends before I was actually going to ride, and he had his bike, he was like, oh, where are you going to be riding? I'm like, maybe we should take it light. We should go somewhere. I'm going to take you somewhere where you can get used to the bike. And then I was going to plan to ride 2 days that weekend. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the track on Saturday, I think it was. And I was like, and then Sunday we could go to Croom or something and you can get used to the bike. He's like, no, bro, I'm going to come to Spider. And I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, you ain't never rode a track. You're new to this bike. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, no, I want to I'm going to go. And all my buddies were like, bro, this is first time ever riding like on a track. We're like, yeah. So he just sent it. He went first time riding this Triumph, first time really on a motocross, like an actual motocross bike. And he went to a full on motocross track. I was impressed. And then we rode like 2 more times after that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I think I'm going to do Day in the Dirt. And I was like, bro, Day in the Dirt is like, that's a serious race.
That's when it was like pounded halfway through the day too.
That
back section.
What class did you race?
C class.
But 250C?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was 450. Like it was all together. It might have been all together. I'm not sure. It was like.
I think it was 250C yet, I want to say.
No, because you said that you were going to do that one, but you did the one the next day.
Okay.
You did the 2-stroke.
Okay.
So it was 250, 450, and
so it's like
whatever else is in there. There's probably a couple other things, but.
Either way, this dude is nuts, right? So he pulls up. You didn't even get the chance to practice.
Nah.
Yeah.
I just did my sight lap off the start.
So yeah, he shows up the Day in the Dirt, does it, like just goes in the race. So me, I'm a super planner when it comes to stuff like this. So I always do the practice ride day. I'll ride each one of my bikes to train. I'll get track conditions down. And then I'll strategically plan out what classes I race each day so I can kind of get a break. Bro just sent it. He came, he went, he hopped on the bike, he raced, and he finished. That's all I cared about. Like I was like, bro, if you finish this race, that's impressive. Your 3rd time ever riding a dirt bike ever.
Yeah. And
you went for arguably one of the hardest and most intimidating races I've ever been in, because the track is hammered. There's 60, 70 other guys with you, and you're in groups. So even if you run A, B, C, Pro. You're in waves. So you got J-Law going by you in the same group that C's going out with. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Those boys are wild, bro. Yeah, you're crazy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience, but I feel like after that, it was just kind of up from there. Like nothing else was really as intimidating, going to practices and stuff. But yeah, it was a great experience. Something I'll be able to tell my kids in the future that I did when they start riding. So.
And I don't think bro's ever even actually ridden trails. No, you've only ridden tracks because that's usually where I ride. So when we ride track.
Yeah, that's all I've done.
But I do plan though, like one of the biggest reasons I never rode chrome, or I don't ride chrome as much, is because with the 450 it's just not as much fun. But now I actually want to give it a shot more with the Triumph, just to kind of get out of my comfort zone, try something different. I don't know what it'll evolve into. I don't think I'll ever race like FTR just because I don't know if I'm ready to do that. But I definitely think that I don't know. I'll ride chrome more. It's 45 minutes from our house, so. But yeah, I don't know.
Back to the spider thing. You first wrote it. Like, your opinion on that? I remember just telling you my view of just seeing you. I was like, I thought I was kind of not hallucinating, but just tripping at first, because I remember this man hopped off his 450, got on mine, and mind you, I was taking videos and just watching him ride his 450, and I'm like, yeah, he's out there ripping it, doing good. But then I remember they have like the straight section, and it's only been half a lap because I was watching. All I see is, ooh, and I was like, this man just got on my bike and is looking faster on mine than a 450. I was like, this don't make no sense at all.
No, I felt so that's the thing about the bike. That's why, like, after that moment, I was like, I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I need one of these. I have to have one. I was like, the bike just, for me, again, every bike is different, and you got some guys who are advocates for whatever they're advocates for. You got guys that love Cali. You got guys that love Austrian bikes. You got guys that love Yamahas. You have guys that love whatever bike they like. But I got on that bike, and mind you, it's not set up for my weight. We hadn't really messed with any clicker adjustments, none of that. The bike was stock. So we did the basics to get it ready. And aside from that, the bike was stock, from the showroom. And I don't know, 3 corners into the track, I was immediately comfortable. Immediately comfortable. The bike, the rider triangle on it is just so good. I can't explain it, but it's good. It almost feels similar to my my previous gas, but it's light and nimble, and it's flickable. So it's like, I don't know, and you can squeeze just right where you stand when you're in proper attack position. You can like squeeze the bike. It's under you. It just feels good. It feels so good. And I kept saying that. I remember one time too, I got off the bike. And this is when it was. So we went to Dade, and then I rode this thing, and I was just trying to I kept coming off the track, messing with the clickers, trying to just get it right. And then he's like, "Oh, you can shake the Triumph if you want." I was like, I ain't gonna argue with that. I'll hop on. So I hopped on. I did a few laps, and same thing. I literally came off the start line at Dade. I made that little left, made the right towards the back triple, and as soon as I came off that jump, I was like, I feel like I'm at home. Yeah. And I just felt good.
Bro, yeah. Another way I knew you were gonna get one, bro. Every time you rode it, I remember telling my cousin this. I was like, bro, this man makes a post every time, bro. I was like, I would tell him when you get back, I'd be like, bro, I let him ride the Triumph today. I'm like, watch, you're gonna see GoPro footage about how good it is. I'm like, man,
to be honest,
time, bro.
I would love to work with Triumph to be an ambassador. I talk about the bike, I rave about the bike. I've come off the track after dumping tons of money into this bike, getting on his that's stock and dope. Well, not anymore. It's not stock, but it was stock at the time. And I was like, bro, this bike is so good. I just kept saying that. Every time I'd be like, bro, this bike is so damn good. Like, I have a GoPro video, and I'm not going to say it because, I don't want to have to put the bleep in the video. But I'm like, yo, this bike is so good, bro. It's so good.
Best bike I've ever ridden. I love this bro.
I hate it. I hear you.
I love it. Oh.
Worst bike you've ever ridden?
I gotta keep telling myself that, yeah. Not yet.
I don't know.
It kind of like takes you back to like where you had the hurt wrist that one time from the scooter accident, and like just you still like I remember I'm like, oh yeah, you can just go ahead and ride it, and you had the little brace on and all that, and you still were like, yeah, bro, I have no complaints, man. I never have no complaints. It's just
I don't. No, the only, so obviously they've had their issues, right? So like I didn't get a 26. I got a 24 from a dealership, but the reason I did it, I drove all the way to Daytona Beach, well, Ormond Beach, but because the dealership there was selling 24 for 5K out the door. And, you know, we talked numbers, did what we did, and I came home with this. And, but the reason I was okay with getting a 24, because, you know, I don't know how much people have followed up on the Triumph thing, especially the 250s, but they've had issues. First year bikes have issues. So they had a couple of recalls, they had a couple things they did, but they've all been addressed on these bikes. And Triumph has done a phenomenal job at, like, if you had a problem, they tell you, bring the bike to the dealership, we'll fix the clutch issue, we'll recalibrate the ECU, we'll do what we have to do to get the bike good, you know? So that was one of the reasons why I specifically, I had found a couple used ones around the same price point, but I wanted to make sure that all the recalls were done. So if you do even take my advice about this and then say, hey, why didn't you tell me? Well, I'm telling you now. So if you find a 24 or a 25, just make sure the recalls are done. But if you want everything done, resolved, get a 26. You know, 26 have the quirks kind of out of them. Airbox is a little bit different. They reconfigured the clutch a little bit, so it's a little bit better than the 24 and 25. But aside from that, the bike is ultimately the same. Frame's the same, motor's the same, all of that stuff is the same. So the things that I'm going to tell him to do that I did to mine, just research. One of the complaints people have is the shift lever. It's a little far out, so you have to actually take your foot off the peg and try to get under it to shift. I noticed that myself. I know you were.
I know we just said when we went to 74s. I was like, bro, I can't shift in these boots because, you know, a new rider, like wearing boots was something completely new to me.
And I don't think it was the boots. I mean, I think it was just the way, because I noticed it too. You know, it's just, it was the angle of the shifter. If you look, so what I did is I replaced it with if you get the 2019 and up YZ250F shifter, it bolts right on. It's a common fix. But the angle that it puts the shifter at, it actually just brings it so you don't have to take your foot off of the peg as much, so you can keep, you know, that rider position, attack position, and still shift without having to mess up the, you know, the stability of the bike too much. Another thing you said you didn't like was the pegs. They didn't feel stable enough.
Yeah, they just feel a little small a little bit. Like it's just kind of like when you hit a jump, you know, sometimes my feet come off, so I'm still working on my form.
Yeah.
It's hard to relocate, especially when you're hitting bumps too.
And I mean, we all know stock pegs aren't perfect anyway, but I ended up getting the titanium pegs, the Raptor style pegs, and it just gives you a little bit more stability. What else did I do? Minor stuff, honestly, nothing crazy. I put the 2026 exhaust on it, stock OEM exhaust, thanks to my neighbor here. And what else? Oh, I set the sag at 102 because I'm heavier than him. So I'm about 185 pounds. But I was able to meet sag and everything still fell in threshold. I haven't, again, ridden the bike yet at that setting to know what it's going to be like, but we're at a good baseline. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited. We're gonna ride eventually.
Yeah.
He's got some things going on, so he's taking a little bit of a slowdown. Same here, but we're gonna ride when we can.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So just not as hard. Can't get hurt.
Yeah. Especially right now, I can't.
No injuries. I mean, the sport's hard though.
Oh, yeah.
We know it's an accident-prone sport, which sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, what do you like most? What drew you to motocross? I mean, because we had conversations, right? We were sitting outside one day, and he's like, "Man, I'm thinking of I need to get into a new hobby. Like, I want to do something fun, just something to get into." And he's asking me about like guns because I'm a gun advocate too. Then he's asking me about dirt bikes, and I was like, "Well, I have both." I was like, "I like guns, but like, moto to me is just they're both expensive hobbies. Doesn't matter what you do, but moto to me, I get way more thrill out of it. So I wasn't sure which route he was going to go, but like I said, he just popped up with a bike one day. So
yeah. No, I honestly went with motocross because, just growing up, I've always been involved in sports, doing playing football, basketball, uh, tried boxing, baseball, really a lot of sports in general. And I kind of miss mainly the thrill about just sports in general, like especially football. If you ever played football, like just before a game, like you're about to go hit someone you don't even know, and you just get just like a crazy like rush and just feel, and it's something I look forward to every Friday night being in high school. And then also a couple other sports, just a great feeling, something I enjoyed. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just try to find a hobby because I was just getting bored. I just be sitting home just kind of chilling every weekend. So I'm like, be something where I can meet new people, just something outdoors and physical I could do that gives me some type of thrill. And then like I remember the first time I went to Spider, I was like, I think this is pretty much it, because it's like something I get like a pump and a thrill from, and it's just like night before. Like I always remember the feeling for me the night before a football game was like, I just thinking like, oh man, what's gonna go down? We do this or that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about like doing this. I'm just thinking about, oh yeah, like what am I gonna do? Like this happens, and just kind of just brainstorming everything. So I was like, yeah, I think this is pretty much it, So that's what made me kind of want to get into it. Just find a new hobby, something that gives me that thrill again, makes me feel alive.
it'll definitely make you feel alive. That's for sure. I don't know. That's a whole nother episode that we'll get into. I had a string of injuries, and obviously I've had times where I was like, man, I might have to hang it up. Not even want to. I might have to, because in 1 year span, I had broken foot, broken ribs, broken back, and brain bleed. I mean, I messed up my wrist. I mean, it was just, I was like, damn, as a kid, I didn't even get injured like that. Like when I raced moto, so I raced moto as a kid from like 10-ish, 11 is really when I started racing, till 16. Bro, I had the worst injury I ever had was I dislocated and separated my shoulder. Well, both of them. Knocked my head on the ground a couple times, but that was really it. All my injuries in motocross are from my adult years of riding.
I remember you telling me a couple with those helmets back there, how those are concussions, right?
Yeah, all except for one. So
that's a lot of concussions.
This orangish one, day in the dirt, major concussion. Second year doing day in the dirt. My first moto, I concussed myself. That Bell helmet, the Tomac replica, I was actually at Kroom's motocross track, way in over my head, concussed myself. The Monster helmet, that's the last helmet I actually wore when I hung up my boots the first time at 17 years old. Took 17 years off from riding. That one's got more crashes in it than I can probably even remember, and I've gotten a concussion in that. Now that Carmichael replica, though, that's just nostalgic. That helmet literally is a Carmichael replica from back in the day, and it had to go up there. But that's the one that pisses me off the most. So that's the one I broke my back in, actually. That helmet right there, brand new helmet, right? Yeah. Bro, that helmet was brand new that ride. So put it on, go out with the boys, and I was like, oh, I haven't ridden. And I just came off from concussion. I was only 4 weeks out from the previous concussion. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take it real easy today. I just need to get back in the groove. Yeah. And then my boy's like, oh, bro, we're all riding AB. Just ride with us. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Yeah. So I rode that one time. And then I went out with AB. And I knew I should have been out there. Like, I wasn't ready. I had just got back on the bike, bro. Like, I should have just done sight laps and done my thing. I knew what I should have been doing, but I didn't. My ego got in the way. Got on the track with my boys, and that was it. And Shanae was like on the track, bro. She was on the track. She was looking for me, my wife. She was looking for me, and she was getting ready to take video. But when she was getting ready to take video, I had already gone by, and she was in a different part of the track. So we hadn't been at the track we drove 2.5 hours to get there. We hadn't been there for but an hour and a half, maybe. I'd gone out one time before that. We had a whole group of us there. Youngbloods were there. I think CJ was there. My boy Ryan was there. Britton was there. All you met some of those, quite a few of those guys. They were all there, and I was having a good time. I think Yancey was there too. I don't remember, but anyway, so we were there. Yeah, bro. And next thing you know, go off the jump. I wadded up hard, and my boy Ryan rode me back on my bike to the trailer, and Sinead didn't even know I wrecked yet. She didn't even know yet. So she was like waiting for me to come around. She didn't see me. She's like, I didn't see you. And I was like, oh, I wrecked. I was banged up, bro. Banged up. And she looked at me and just she was shaking her head like, she didn't know the severity of it, obviously, yet.
Yeah.
But when she found out, it was, that was.
I remember seeing you like come back and just like, bro, you got to move my trailer, bro.
I don't wish that upon nobody. Man. Like, that's the one thing that's scary is lately there's been, since I broke my back, there's been a lot of back injuries in the sport. Like a lot. I know two people I know in the last month have had serious back injuries. Like, I just.
They have those new things coming out that inflate, right? Things I think you're telling me about. It's like an airbag kind of just. Yeah.
So I was actually gonna buy one, but they were on back order. They still didn't have any yet. So every time I go to look for one, it's the Alpine Star Vest.
Oh yeah,
and it inflates. And actually, when Barsha crashed, so Barsha got landed on, by Malcolm Stewart in the Supercross over the last season, and they say the impact and the force that he took, if he hadn't had that inflatable A-Stars protector on, it would have been so much worse. The man's back out there racing pro motocross. He was just out there. He was in third for quite a few laps the other day. But I don't know. Sport's crazy, man. It's like skydiving. I feel like it's like one of those sports where you feel like you're on the edge of, I don't want to say death because that's crazy, but you're literally on the. I mean, the only thing separating you from that is, the bike. Mm-hmm. You hit the ground hard enough, you never know, but you feel the most alive when you're doing it.
You do. Especially like one day I had I haven't had any crazy accidents. I've only had one little spill that was pretty humbling.
It was decent.
Well, it was actually the first time he didn't come with on a Thursday. He's like, yeah, bro, I think I'm gonna pass. I'm like, well, shoot,
should have been there.
I'm like, I'm gonna just go with. And I was really starting to feel like really comfortable and fast. Like, that feeling you get where you feel like you're going fast. I probably wasn't going that fast. I felt like I was,
but you gained confidence. You gained your confidence.
Oh yeah. I was getting confidence where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna start really getting on this thing, and it feels like getting on it for me. And if you go to Dade City, like Thursdays, like after like an hour, probably sometimes not even an hour, it just gets real. Like it gets pretty serious. It gets real serious. Like
track is pretty hammered. If it's busy, it's hammered.
Oh yeah, like I know now. Like I know now. Like I just let it be. Like I'm like I just look at it, I'm like, if I get 1 or 2 sessions, I'm out. Like I'll just hang out, just watch them. They got it. But I was getting really comfortable. There's like this back little triple they have, and I really tried to send it, and the bike, got thrown sideways. And that was my craziest experience. I landed like front flip off the bars and like smacked the ground super hard. And,
I mean, you did wreck a day in the dirt though, pretty decent too.
Oh yeah, I wrecked twice because
this man like went over the bars, wrecked, and that was the biggest thing I was scared of. I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, and this man chooses. So there's dozens of bikes out there. This man's on a black bike in black gear. I cannot find him to save my life. So I'm like,
low key, man.
I'm like, okay, where's Colton? I haven't seen him go by yet. And then finally, after like what's probably like 3 laps, I'm like, oh, there he is. He's good. Yeah. But
I had 2 little like baby. Like I remember on the start of Day in the Dirt, a whole bunch of kids just piled and crashed in front of me on the first like turn. I tried to slow down, but I kind of tipped off to the side because I was like, oh, there goes my balance. And then right around the corner from that, I just kind of lost control in a rut and hit the berm and went flying over the handlebars. And I was like, oh, man, hopefully this is the last one, which it was because it's spaced out a little bit. But if you ride Day in the Dirt, down south, there's like 5 or 6 rows with like 20, it felt like 20 to 30 people in each row, so on one track. So
There's probably more than that, bro. I think
yeah,
because each class has, some of those classes have, like, especially the one you were in, there's like 50 to 60 guys. Like, so when I was in the two-stroke class, there was 70, 75 or 78 guys in that class.
yeah. There's a lot of people.
The 450 GP, I think there was like 60 something guys in that class. So you probably had more than you think, I bet.
Yeah, it felt, I'm not exaggerating, but it felt like it was 100 or more people for me.
Yeah.
Because that, you know, if you're new to riding, and it's like, just put yourself in my shoes, that's like your third, fourth, or fifth, whatever it was, time riding, and I'm just like looking around like, you know, yeah, these boys out here just ready to go, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna just try my best.
No, I was impressed though. For somebody to come new into this sport, this is, I don't care who you are. If you've never been on a dirt bike, like, I think it's funny because people be like, "Oh, you race motocross? That don't look that hard." And I'm like, "Okay, you do it." You know, like, you feel like when you feel like you're on it, and then you see video and you're like, "Damn, I ain't riding like I thought I was," you know. But it's an intimidating sport. You get on the bike, and the first time them tires leave the ground and you're on it, you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" And then as you gain speed and your form gets better, and it's all different. You know, like, I didn't pick up my pace until I had my last 450. That bike and I just meshed, and I clicked with that bike really well. And yeah, I think that's probably why I also got hurt more, because I was at a much faster speed. So even though I didn't crash as much, when I did crash, it was hard usually. So
I had a question for you. How do you see yourself, like, I would say in the next year, progressing on this bike overall? You
Man,
think you'll probably be the fastest you've probably ever been, or like smooth too? Like,
if it's anything like I have been on your bike just a few times that I've rode it, I honestly think I would run circles around me on my 450. I do, because the bike feels so good. It's so stable. So, like, I trust this bike more.
yeah,
This bike, I feel good, and it's got ton. So the difference between the two is it's a 450, right? So I know it's got the power to get me up over anything that I need to get over. But this bike, I have the trust in it. So, like, I know if I'm going to drop that thing in the inside line on a corner, I can rail that corner and go. I also know, I don't know, it's so stable. Like, I had so much trust in the front end of that bike. Like,
yeah,
I'd come into a section and it'd be rough, even at Spider. That day it was pretty rough when I rode it.
yeah.
And the track to me almost felt like a groomed track. Like, I was coming through that straight near the whole gate, and I was just like, I clicked up another gear and the bike just floated. And then I came over the first little step up, and I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. It felt slow.
No, I think a year of solid effort put into this bike, man, I would probably end up selling that and getting a 450, and then just have the 250, 450.
Oh yeah, all Triumph.
Yeah.
Think you just stick with it?
I mean, yeah, as long as I get the support, you know. And I don't mean, hey, Triumph, I'm not saying from you. I'm just saying dealerships and stuff. You know, that was, and he can tell you, that was my biggest fear. I was like, dang, you know, like, I don't want the bike to blow up and I'm waiting on parts. You know, that's my biggest concern is just availability of parts. You know, I want to know that if I go to a dealership, I can get an air filter, I can get oil filter, I can get whatever the basic stuff I need, and I don't have to wait, you know, or source around the country to get it. So, but the cool part about Triumph is, I don't know if you knew this, they machine everything in-house. Like, the hubs on this bike are machined by Triumph in-house.
I think you told me that,
yeah. So Ricky Carmichael was a major part of this. Mike Brown was a major part of this bike. So, like, you can't really go wrong. They took the best parts of the bikes that they liked and tried to make it and put it into one.
Yeah.
So, I remember people would always say before I ever got on one, people were like, "Oh, it's like a KTM Yamaha combined." So, I don't know.
I like it. It was durable enough to, you know, get me through day in the dirt as a new rider, and I didn't take no spills. Well, I did, but, you know, nothing bad. So.
Well, and I've ridden every brand, whether I owned it or I've ridden on it because a buddy had one, and I've had different perspectives on each. Colton's never really he's ridden a couple other bikes prior to the Triumph. He didn't have the opportunity to ride a whole bunch of different bikes. So it's funny now. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, I tried his bike, but it just doesn't feel the same." You know, like
Yeah.
he said that a couple of times. Like now he's like, "Okay, now I see what you mean." Like I've ridden other bikes, and I'm like, "Nah, I really like the Triumph."
Yeah. It's just in my opinion, riding my bike, it's like riding like, a used car compared to like a Rolls Royce. Like I get on mine and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I know, what I like, and that's why honestly I'll probably just stick it out with them. Like I said, if we can have dealerships around here have better, availability to like different parts and all that, I think that would be a lot, a lot more helpful. But I think it would just take more people buying the bikes, which just comes with, like you said, like when they have demo days and stuff, just making sure everything is in tune with the bike and making sure people can get the best experience out of it. Because I feel like we've seen the best of it. Some people unfortunately don't have the best experience with them. So
And I mean, I think one of the hardest things too is people just don't know, right? Because like there's not a lot of education out there. If I had known what I know now, I wouldn't have hesitated as much. I probably would have got the 450 instead of the gas, to be completely honest. If I had known what I know now. By that I mean my biggest concern was the parts thing, right? Well, I found out that Triumph they got ahead of that. They already kind of knew that may be an issue for some. So they created a marketplace kind of thing. So you can go on Triumph's website, you can select the part you need, and it will pull it and ship it direct to you from whatever dealership has it in stock. So it could be in Ohio, it could be in California. Granted, you may not get it same day, but it's pulling from all the dealership's inventory and getting you that part. Now, you can do that, and you can go on motorsport.com. You can do all of that stuff too. But it's cool that you can get onto Triumph's website, and it'll just kind of pull that for you and get you what you need. Obviously, I'm sure some of you guys have like a dealer who is really dirt focused and has availability and has parts. But for those of you that don't, that's an option. Because bro, in Europe, these bikes they're doing good. Like they're selling well, they're performing well, they're doing well. In the 450 race yesterday, Millville, top 10. There were 2 Triumphs. 9th and 10th was the Triumph 450.
Yeah, so they're on it.
So I mean, it's making progress.
Yeah.
I just think there just needs to be more people.
Give it a chance. Yeah, so you just got to give it a chance. Especially if you do ever get to ride one, just make sure overlook it fully. Make sure everything's good with it, just to get the best experience out of it. Because as a new rider, I'm staying with it, like I said, multiple times, and you guys can see what I've seen over the last couple months, his journey trying to find another bike. Bro, I already knew the whole time what was going to come along. Because
I think you said it too. I think you were like, bro, you're just going to end up getting a Triumph.
Yeah, I did. Because I'm telling you, this man probably looked at when it comes to marketplace, if I send him anything, he's probably already seen it. He's probably looked at almost 3/4 of the bikes in Florida. And I'm just like, bro, just wait it out and just get something you like, because every time, like I said, every time I offer him to ride mine, it's never been a no. So,
nah, I don't think it ever would have been. I just had to get one of my own. I really did. I mean, I couldn't justify 2 bikes, right? I'm a vet guy. I'm a vet rider that doesn't get to ride but a couple days a month. Yeah, it depends on the time of year. My job is very demanding as far as like requirements of what I have to do and where I have to go. So logistically, it didn't make sense for me to have 2 bikes. But I want 2 bikes. I've always wanted a 250 and a 450, right? I've always ridden Austrian bikes since the ending years of me riding dirt bikes, and then now me getting them again. So naturally, I always kind of, gravitated towards the Austrian bikes. I never really deviated. But now, man, I'm just glad you gave me the opportunity. Because if I had never ridden his bike, I probably wouldn't have got one. I wouldn't have known. And like many people, they wouldn't know either.
yeah. I agree, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, again, just knowing about the bike. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not asking Triumph to, come out here and be like, yeah, we're going to give you a free bike. No, I ain't looking for that. But I would love to advocate. Like, I think the best person to advocate for a bike like this is somebody who has one. And somebody who has one I'm not biased. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting nothing. I'm going out there talking about this thing and not getting paid for it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, the bike is so good. Like, this is
Posting,
so
like I
good.
said, before you had one, you were posting about like you basically did have one.
I know. And people are like, oh, you got a Triumph? I'm like, nah, it's my neighbor's. So just let me ride it. You know, and even my boy was like, he's like, bro, you look really comfortable on that bike. And I hated to admit it. I'm like, I am. I really am. And I was kind of pissed because I'm like, I was almost mad that I was that comfortable on somebody else's bike and I wasn't that comfortable on my own. I was like, damn.
It wasn't even adjusted to you either. Like bro, I would just watch, like, you know, like I remember there was one time we were at, I think it was the time I came real late after like a long night. I was just like, yeah, bro, I'm just burnt out. You could just have your fun and like you could go out on the Triumph for like maybe like 12, 13 minutes compared to like just doing like 1 or 2 laps. Like, oh, yeah, bro, I'm good. I got to do my adjustments, you know, like.
The bike's flickable. It's light. It's comfortable. I mean, again, I ain't getting paid to say none of this. I just wanted people to know because I feel like people need to know, you know, there's bike options out there for everybody. But if you were looking for something different, and it's not even like one of those, oh, I got a Triumph, you know, it's just a different bike that they put a lot of work into. And for a first year bike, I mean, for you guys who are into moto, like real heavy, and you go back into the early 2000s, when Cannondale tried to jump into the motocross scene, you know, I think that's what a lot of people were worried about because they were worried that Triumph was going to be another Cannondale. They were going to come out with this new age dirt bike, and then all of a sudden it was going to be an epic fail. It was going to fall apart. Again, they had their problems, they had their issues, but they've addressed a lot of them. And I mean, I've got zero issues. So, I mean, somebody from the Triumph team sees this. I mean, I'd love to talk. I believe in the bike. I'll be an advocate. I'll be a brand ambassador. I'll go do demo rides for people. Not on mine. You know, I'll have somebody do it on yours. but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think more demo days, man. That would be killer.
Just having someone that, like I said again, knows, you know, about the bike too, being informed. It looks good, sounds good, it feels good. Another thing cool about it too, I realized, especially with yours, when you first started, that whistle sound.
Yeah.
I don't know much, so I'm still learning, but I don't know what that comes from, but it just sounds like real cool.
She hates it. She's like, ew, I don't like the way that sounds, but it feels like I got a turbo.
Yeah, it feels like it's ramped up. Like you got something that's like you're just about to just take off. I like it. You know, mine doesn't do it as much, but I can still hear it a little bit. I didn't know if something was wrong with it when I first got it, but I kind of found out that's what a lot of them make.
Yeah, it's just they sound different. Like if you're not used to it, you'll be like, what the heck? Why does it sound like this? But
especially new exhaust system, I got a steal off Marketplace. So
this man got a Acro, beautiful exhaust, and I'm not gonna lie, I had it saved in my cart. This is how you know I was gonna get a Triumph, right?
Yeah.
This is how you know. I had it saved in my cart just in case I ever bought a Triumph. I'm like, oh man, that's a killer deal because the guy was selling it for like $600, full system, or maybe it was $800. I don't remember what it was. It was cheap though. It's a $1,300-$1,400 exhaust.
I had it, the receipt. It was 17.
Oh
Yeah, it was 17. Yeah, because off of Triumph, and then I ended up getting the Triumph seat, grip seat, and the Triumph grip seat, and the whole exhaust system for $500.
Yeah, he got a steal. I mean, you're not gonna find that's a once in a lifetime deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had it saved in my cart on Marketplace because if I'm on Facebook, I'm on Marketplace. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Marketplace, and I'm like scouring every deal, and I probably never buy 95% of the stuff that's in my save list, but it's there just in case. And that exhaust is one of them. Like, oh, just in case I get a Triumph, here's an exhaust, and I can reach out to the guy. Yeah. And then I was like, man, I'm not going to get a Triumph. I'll just send it to him, and I sent it to him.
Yeah, I went and picked it up within like an hour. We're getting it. I was like, oh, yes. And then I remember installing it, and came over and helped me install it because I was struggling with the dang, fighting the dang, the pins on the exhaust under there. I was trying to makeshift something. I never have the right tool, and you know.
The spring puller. He didn't have a spring puller, so he was trying to change the exhaust out. But there are some wonky things with the Triumph. It has all Torx screws around it. I actually Torx head bolts. I replaced a lot of them with the factory KTM hard parts bolts because they work the same. That way you can get the hex head rather than the Torx, or you can get both. I didn't do it fully on mine, but it's not that big a deal. You just buy a Torx set, whatever. You know, not everybody has one, but anybody who has tools probably has a Torx set. That was the weird part, and that can be frustrating for some because it's just not as easy. What else? Oh, that spring. Yeah, the spring was weird. It's like behind the subframe, and the way the spring connected the exhaust together from the head pipe. You had to like go underneath and behind the subframe. So if you didn't have a good spring puller, there's no way you were going to get that spring on there, or at least not for me. It
was an awkward position.
Yeah, it was super awkward. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do to the bike. I don't know how many more mods, if you want to call it that, I'll do. I'm not an A rider. I'm just your weekend warrior when I can. So I'll probably keep the bike the way it is. It is weird for me though, because going from that bike to this bike is night and day. But I enjoy it more. The bike I had before this was I built a 2004 KX125, made it a James Stewart tribute. Sweet bike, but I rode it 3 times, and it was just gonna sit. So,
Bike was definitely a classic. I'm not gonna lie, it was clean.
if I don't have enough room anymore. The wife told me no more bikes. So guy math, no more bikes means sell one, replace it with another, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think when I hear that. So, but no, I mean, hopefully you guys will see. You're going to see more of him once he gets, what he's taking care of done. We'll be on the bike more. We'll have more ride time.
Oh yeah.
Because next year he's probably going to do Day in the Dirt again, I'd imagine.
I'd probably stay the whole weekend and get the full experience, hopefully, wherever it's at. So
Yeah, no, I'm going to do Day in the Dirt. Whether I have both these bikes, I won't know. I know I'll have this one. I don't know if I'll have this one. We'll see.
I start training for it soon, coming towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the Vet
Masters.
Masters in November too. So Vet Masters is in November. I haven't ridden in 2.5 months. My dumbass decided to throw myself over the handlebars on a scooter, not even my dirt bike, on a scooter, and I messed up my wrist, my knee.
Across my whole driveway.
Yeah, he was outside. Yeah, I don't even know. I thought I was slick, so I was like on the scooter going down the sidewalk, and I was going to try and pass my wife and cut in between and go to his driveway. And when I did, the front tire tucked in like the grass and sand part, and it caught the lip of his the cement part of his driveway. When it did, it dropped the front, sent me over the bars, and I mean, it launched me probably, I don't know,
At least 3/4 of normal drive, two car driveway.
so
At
like
least
10
3/4.
feet.
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah, it was pretty far. I thought, man.
I was going 20. I had that thing waxed. I was like,
Luckily, you tucked it because I thought you were going straight. Oh man, it looked like it was gonna be bad. But luckily, you just.
My immediate response was, good thing I raced motocross, so I know how to fall. But yeah, no, that sucked. So yeah, I've been off the bike for that reason. Got a 7-month-old baby. It's hot as hell in Florida. It's raining every day now. Travel a lot for work. I mean, they all sound like excuses, but it's just the reality. So, cool. Well, you'll see more Cold. Maybe he'll hop on again. We'll show his progression. So as we lead up into Day in the Dirt and how things go, because he's still new to the sport, but I'm stoked that he wanted to do it.
I'm definitely, it's definitely been fun and, privileged being able to come on here, just, talk about the amazing bike. I definitely will be on here more. So.
Hell yeah. And Triumph, let's do something. I'm happy to help you guys sell more bikes because, man, like I said, I'm an advocate. I'll do what I got to do to let people know what I already let them know about this thing. So, but until next time, tune in, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that awesome stuff. And I'd love to hear feedback. Let me know what you guys want to hear, what you want to talk about. So we'll get on the next episode. And if you want to be a part of this, let me know. I'm down for anybody who's involved in the motocross community, whether it be, we can do virtual, we can do in person, we can do all of that kind of stuff. So I travel a lot for work. Who knows, I might be in your city. But again, thanks, Colton. I appreciate you.